Hi everyone. Okay, so this is Ziki here and I hope you're all doing very well. Anyway, in this video we are going to be talking about the Chinese language. Now, Chinese language is called Hanyu. Now, Hanyu comes from the Han people who make up the majority of the Chinese people, the Han people. Okay, so they make up about 92% of the Chinese people. They are descendants of the Han. So mainly the Chinese language is called the Hanyu. Now, Yu stands for language. Han is the people. All right. Now, for example, if you want to say the French language is called the Fa Yu. Okay, because in Chinese, Fa Go means France. So Fa Yu is French language. Same applies with English, okay? Ying Yu meaning English, okay? Because Ingwa means England. So this is how it comes to be. Now, is it a requirement for you to have to know Chinese language, to speak Chinese language before you come and study in China? No. But when you come and start studying it, depending on the school you're going to, the level of education that you're coming to do and everything else, you might be required to do a certain level of Chinese language. Okay, now, when you're doing a certificate, there's a certificate that is called HSK that goes from HSK 1 to HSK 6. So it's called Hanyu Shuiping Kaoshi. Now, this is the book, but this is only level 3. I have done level 4. I'm currently on level 4, going to level 5. Almost done with level 4, okay? And so I can speak, I can read, I can write a little bit because writing is very, very difficult. So also Chinese language comes in what those words which we can read, which use the English alphabet, you know, what is called Mandarin, okay? And then they also comes in those characters which are difficult to read, which we call them Hansa. So Hansa is very difficult, you know, or so because of that, you know, a lot of people say Chinese is very, very difficult, you know, to do. But anyway, it is difficult just like any other language. But if you dedicate your time and have the passion for it, you can easily learn the language, okay? Now, like I said, Hanyu Shuiping, HSK, the certificate that is recognized internationally, you can take it online. You don't have to be in China for you to do it. You can take it online. You can even do the certificate online. You can study it online and everything. But the certificate is issued in different institutions. I can see now even around the world right now, different countries now, they now have, you know, the Confucius centers where you can go and study Chinese and be certified, okay? But if you want to take the HSK, the certificate that is actually recognized, you can actually do it online and get your certificate. So Chinese language is very, very important because one of the highly spoken languages. I mean, because of the fact that China is the highly populated country in the world. So of course, their language also becomes very popular depending on the number. So for those of you who are saying, well, how do I even start to study Chinese? Just to go online, look for HSK. Okay, HSK is Hanyu Shuiping Kaoshi, and then you can get it. Okay, now, you know, when you start studying Chinese, it becomes very, very interesting for you. It can, you know, introduce you to a wide range of things. Okay, now, another aspect of Chinese language that is very, very important is the fact that you cannot separate Chinese language with the culture. For those people who are interested in studying Chinese culture, then you have to have a basic understanding of Chinese language, because you'll find that ancient Chinese language and the simplified version of Chinese language that we're studying today, there's a very great relationship, and the relationship is very, very interesting, especially if you've got interest in studying history and culture. Okay, because you're going to find that the word that means tree today was once upon a time used in terms of pictography. You know, they used to use a picture of a tree to mean the word. So now it evolved over the years up until the one that is being used now, which is now the simplified version of the Chinese language that we are learning now. So you'll find that it's a very, very interesting study area when you begin to study it, especially for those who are interested in Chinese culture and the Chinese language itself. It's very, very interesting. And another aspect of the Chinese language, again, that is very, very important is to understand that Chinese language comes in 4 tones. Those 4 tones are the basic and the most important thing that you have to understand about the Chinese language, because if you fail to differentiate these tones, one word might have 4 meanings. You get it? Depending on the pronunciation that you use of that word, using the tones that you want to use. When I was studying Chinese, this was one of the most difficult aspects of the Chinese language, which I was failing to understand. Like, for example, I want to say ma. They can be ma, 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 ma. So when I'm talking about ma, I might be calling mommy. Ma is a question. Maybe I'm asking a question. Ma, it's a horse. Ma. So it means different things depending on the tone that you are using. So it's very, very important. So Chinese language comes in 4 tones. Okay. 4 basic, not basic, 4 tones, period. Okay, everything else is derived from there. So those are very much. So those are some of the most interesting aspects of the Chinese language that you have to know if you want to study the language. Okay, there was a time that I started to teach other people how to speak the Chinese language, because actually sometimes it's very, very easy to be taught by someone who has learned Chinese, and they can also speak your language, so that you don't get frustrated. When you don't understand something, it can be explained in English. But again, once you have got the grasp, the basic aspect of the language, now you might need the native speaker so that you practice your speaking, because speaking is very, very important. And also understanding those Chinese characters is something else. You need to be thorough when you are studying the language. So this is all that I have for in the introduction to China. Today we're talking about the Chinese language, four tones, and Hanyu is the number one spoken one, because of the majority of Chinese people being descendants of the Han, people, right? The Han dynasty. All right, so that is why it's called Hanyu. Until then, take